this piece I call Creation of a Landscape. This is a nighttime farm. This is actually based off of an actual farm in New Hampshire. At least the house is, and part of the field is. In the background, we have our mist forming. We have in the foreground our different field plants that are grazing and forage for animals. And we have insects and spider webs layered throughout, field glitter and whatnot, because this determines all this. There's very little I've done on this subject, and I'm going to do more on it in the future, but for right now, this is a very interesting thing. What happens up here is determined down here. When the ancients said, as above, so below, and as below, so above, this is part of what they're talking about. If you have a lot of vegetation, if you have a lot of biodiversity and growth, you will have more rain. I had always been taught that the rain will determine how much growth you have. According to people like Alan Savory, that logic is backwards. It is this presence that brings in these elements and not the other way around. I have gotten to witness this firsthand now where we live, because the corridor we drive up is heavily farmed. It's a huge farming area. And in my entire life, living on the ocean, living in mountainous areas, living in flat areas, I have seen a variety of different atmospheric anomalies, but never in my life have I witnessed the accumulation and diversity of clouds that I do out here. It is wildly unique, to say the least, and it's one of the inspirations behind a lot of my paintings. You know, if you're from New England, we live in an environment that's pretty tight. You know, we usually laugh, those of us who are hunters, when people go, I want a rifle that can do 300 yards. And we all giggle because there really aren't many places in New England where you're ever going to take a 300-yard shot, let alone see anything beyond 200 yards. It just doesn't happen. The amount of tree growth we have here is shocking. Well, in this corridor, you have these insane sunsets and absolutely stunning cloud formations. And a lot of that actually is directly correlated to the grasses and the fields that preempt these areas right before the clouds or the moisture begins to accumulate. If you go far west from where we are into the western middle part of Massachusetts and the valley right east of Amherst, you get a lot of these weather patterns. That's where they start to form, and they build over the Quabbin Reservoir. And you get this watershed that runs all the way up from there into Keene. It's a very lush area. There is a lot of growth, and so there is a lot of rain. And because there's a lot of rain, there's a lot more growth, and the cycle keeps fulfilling itself. I have become absolutely enamored with these things. I cannot stop thinking about them. It's been years now that we've been talking about this stuff, and I am obsessed. I want to do repair work on the earth with animals. I want to grow animals, and I want to have a farm that focuses on soil health and carbon catchment. It is the most important thing in the world to me. It trumps everything else. And with that, happy, healthy, diverse groups of animals working together, not only to achieve their own ends of being what they are, you know, as Joel Salatin would say, the pigness of the pigs, the cowness of the cows, the chickenness of the chickens, but also using their own natural inclinations to repair the land. So this represents what is in my heart. This is my dream. Not this specifically, but this idea, these kind of concepts. So this piece is going to start off a bit higher just because of the amount of investment in this, and I'm going to take a hosing on that, and I'm totally okay with it because it is almost more important that I inspire you to think like this than even us doing this ourselves. It's almost that much more important. When you understand the ramifications for this stuff, and what the planet needs, I can't really think about anything more important. At the end of the video, I'm actually going to show you what I did to the outside trim of this, which was the component that I'm not showing you yet. So here it is. I am going to be doing a run of prints. We have not figured out which direction we want to go, but basically the idea with the prints is that either some or all of the outside element will actually be in the print. So technically, they'll almost be two separate pieces of art. You'll have this piece, if you purchase this, with its element around the sides. You'll have to look at that. And in a print, you will see it laid out, the whole thing. The other reason we decided to go with prints is that the point of us auctioning off our art, other than the fact that I get to share my art with you guys, which I really love doing, is that we can bring in an additional revenue stream to help us get towards our goals. And at some point in time, instead of saying, hey, would you guys like to buy a painting, I'll say, hey, who wants a CSA? Who wants to buy a share in our farm? We're not there yet, because we're not there yet. But in the meantime, this helps us get there, and you guys have all helped us. I can't thank you all enough. So again, this is going up. This auction is going to run long. I am going to give this auction a longer run than what we usually do. Normally what we do is we put them up Sunday night and we call the auction Tuesday evening. This auction is going to go for 1 week, okay? It's going up Sunday night, and then the following Sunday is when we will close the auction. With the Monday evening afterwards, we will announce the person who is the winner. We will have established what we need to establish, and we'll announce the winner. And that's pretty much it. I felt it needed a week, and so we're going to give it a week. And that's it. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate y'all. I really do, and I hope you're finding some happiness and positivity, and I hope you're dreaming like this, and I hope you're starting to plan your own thing. We've had a few people tell us that they're buying farms. We've seen a few people buy farms. We've seen a few people who owned land and really weren't encouraged to do it, to get back into it. And a lot of them have reached out to us and say, you've inspired us, and this is why we're doing it. And I'm not going to cry, because that's profound. I don't even have words. That fills the reservoir in my heart with joy. And I hope that joy precipitates down upon all. How about that? Peace. There it is with the finished glaze work. We have our thistles down in the corner, some of our different orchard grasses, timothy, some seed heads. In between you can see the lightning bugs, or fireflies, or field flitter as my wife calls it. And I have peppered the scenery with spider webs, because I feel like a healthy field, a healthy pasture has a lot of insects. In the background we have the mountains, and the clouds, and the stars beginning to come out. And then of course, the moon up above our farmhouse in the distance. So this is going up tonight on Brand Grand Farms.